Hi, this is God's Own Medicine PS4 Medic Maniac YouTube, and once again I'm playing the brilliant Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. I'm here at the encampment because I'm talking about pawn inclinations. Over the years, my daughter and myself have been very frustrated when searching in rift zones like this for pawns to support us in our party. Because we've found a lot of pawns with mismatching inclinations. So, for example, a very common one is Guardian Scather, or the other way round, that's Scather Guardian. Guardian Scather will mean that a pawn's primary inclination is to stand by the Arisen and only attack foes that attack the Arisen. The Scather component to that will want to go off and fight the strongest enemy. So there's a conflict, and the pawn will often be seen just wandering backwards and forwards near the Arisen and not doing anything. So we found other like useless inclination pawns like Pioneer Acquisitor, a pawn who want to go off and scout enemies and might trigger some that are stronger than you currently are. And then we'll just not bother fighting while it picks up stuff. You know, just things like that. Some pawns we've even seen without any inclinations at all, which is just bizarre. But yeah, inclinations can really help a pawn's class, its vocation. So for example, my pawn is currently a strider, and her inclinations are set up for her vocation. So she is Challenger Scather. She will seek out ranged attackers first, and then she'll focus on the strongest enemy. And her skill set is matching her inclinations, where she has, you know, attacking moves. She also has a move that she can utilize in Shriek Dart to stun enemies and prevent them attacking or whatever. And then she also has her ranged attacks with her bow as well, and that's backed up by her augments, which are complementary to her skills and therefore inclinations. So for example, Eminence will help her jumping attacks like Brain Splitter, Leaping Stone, etc. And she has both skills to help her to utilize to you know, be more accurate when she's doing her challenge a bit. So set up for Challenger Scather with her inclinations backed up by skills and augments. So that's just one example. So if you've got a pawn and it has it has inclinations which are conflicting or not really appropriate to its skills and its vocation, how do you change that? Well, you come to the encampment and you speak to this pawn here, whose name is Jonathan, and you click buy, and then you see in his tools he sells elixirs, and those are in exchange for rift crystals. So when your pawn is hired out, you will earn rift crystals. If your pawn is not being hired out, it might be useful to, you know, have a friend hire it out or something, or ask for a little help hiring it out to get some rift crystals, and then you can go and change its inclinations. You can also get a neutralizing elixir which clears all the current inclinations and associated characteristics, to give you a base to work from again. A pawn will be influenced not only by your actions and your frequent use of the D-pad commands go, come or help, which I recommend that you don't use a lot, but it will also be influenced by the pawns in your party. So for example, My pawn Fenella, I had to sit her down in the knowledge chair because her secondary inclination had changed to mitigator. And that was because she was influenced by the 2 pawns in my party, Severina, who has mitigator as a secondary, and Pixie, who has mitigator as a primary. So your own pawn will be influenced by the inclinations of pawns in your party. So you will have to keep changing it because you can't lock those inclinations down. The other thing that your pawn will be influenced by is your actions on the battlefield. So for example, if there's a battle going on and you prefer to pick up items, your pawn might ask if you want them to become Acquisitor. If you persist in going after the strongest foes, your pawn might ask you if you want it to become Scather. This is when you sit down at a knowledge chair. Or it might automatically do that and just change its inclinations while you're going around. So there's a few things that can influence a pawn's inclinations. Obviously, when you create your pawn at the beginning, you'll be given a set of questions, and your answers will be, it will show the relative strength of bar as to its inclination leaning at the side when it asks you those questions. And so you have to think about, as I said in the last video, you have to think about your vocation that you want to build for your pawn. You have to think about its inclinations, about what will suit it, about the skills that will go with that, and the augments. So we'll take a look at the classes in a bit more detail shortly.